We recently sat down with executive editor Kara Cesare, and we asked her to tell us a little bit more about J.R. Ward and the Black Dagger Brotherhood. So Kara, as the editor of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, you really are the person who shepherds the books through the publishing process. So tell me about the first time you discovered the Black Dagger Brotherhood.
Well, Craig, it was about 5 years ago, and I'll never forget it because I was on the subway reading the opening chapters to Dark Lover, and I got that spine-tingling feeling editors get sometimes when you think, wait, this is something really special, this is something really different. And it was a world that I had never read before with these great vampire warrior heroes, and after I got the subway, I thought, I have to buy this. I have to work with this author. And then from there, it was coming in and kind of pitching it to everyone in-house at Penguin and getting them on board with these like hip-hop listening, fashion-forward vampire heroes who needed love for redemption, and they just got it. And from there, it's been kind of a phenomenal run.
And when you first read the book, there was just something different about the way that J.R. Ward writes.
There is. I think she has a really distinctive voice. I think whether you read a Brotherhood novel, whether you read a laundry list by her, whatever you read by her, she has this really authentic voice that resonates, and I think that's the mark of a really talented writer.
And the books have kind of an attitude about them.
They do. They do. Well, each book is about a different brother, and each brother has a different gift/curse. And because of that, they have these attitudes of these like huge warrior brothers, but yet they also are very vulnerable because they fall in love. And that's how she gets this. That's what makes her distinctive. She has this sort of tough and rumble guy falling in love. So it's very seductive.
And female readers really seem to fall for the brothers.
They do. They do. They fight over which one they like the best. You know, they each have their own favorite.
Do you have a favorite?
It's hard to say. I like them each for different reasons. I will say that in Zeta's book, Lover Awakened, there's a scene that made me cry. And I think, and I read it over again, which I should never do, and it continues to really evoke a lot of emotion for me. But I think each book has a certain quality that I really admire in her, whether it's my favorite character or my favorite plot, or I'm really impressed with how she moved the series forward. So I guess there's a talent in each book, but there is a scene in that one that particularly got me.
And what do you think of the new book, Lover Avenged?
It's amazing. It's amazing. I still get chills when I read her, and the first line of Lover Avenged is, "The king must die," and you kind of take notice. And Revenge is a very controversial, complicated character, and I think that readers have been waiting for him to see what she's going to do with him. And his journey is quite incredible, what she pulls off in one book, where he goes from sort of sociopathic tendencies to a real hero.
So why was Revenge the focus of the first hardcover in the series?
I think that Revenge signals a real shift in the world, in the vampire world, and I think the buzz that she had gotten the first 6 books leading up to Revenge really kind of set up not only the world nicely, but the audience was sort of ready to take that leap with her into hardcover. Right. And because Revenge brought together a bunch of plots that she had going on leading up to this big event that happens in Revenge's book, I think it kind of made it the natural hardcover.
Why do you think people are so fascinated with vampires?
I think it's a really fascinating question. I'm struggling with it. I keep wondering. I mean, I think there is a bit of the forbiddenness of falling in love with someone who was so different than you. I think, particularly with J.R. Ward's vampire heroes, they're a superhero, they're heroic, they're immortal, very different than you, and I think that they're also very romantic. Right. But the vampire craze, I don't know, I like listening to everyone's theory. I can't find just one that answers the question. I think there are so many reasons for it.
So Kara, do you and J.R. Ward have a system worked out? How do you work together?
We do. I think what's really interesting about the series for us is that we've worked together from book 1 all through book 7. And I think we built up a lot of trust together in how we work. And in the beginning, it was a lot of sharing notes and ideas. And now it's a really long phone conversation, really trying to get into the world and talking to her about what's in her head to make sure that it's actually on the page. And I think that we've kind of evolved. Our process has evolved from book to book, which has been really, really fun for me as an editor to be able to work with an author like that, and that I feel so entrenched in the world sometimes. I talk about these characters as if I know them, which is sort of strange for people outside publishing. But I think that we have a really close relationship, and she's very open to hearing my thoughts about her world and her characters and things. But she knows that at the end of the day, this book is very much has to stick to and be true to her vision for how she wants it to evolve.
So Kara, what is up next for J.R. Ward?
She's working on a new series that we're publishing in the fall, and the first book is called Covet, and it's about fallen angel warriors. And in the first book, I think she always writes a very romantic story, but there's something about fallen angels that I think she's going to have a fresh twist on it, similarly to how she had a fresh twist in The Vampire Hero.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Kara.
Thank you, Craig.